Right outside. So.
So recorded this computer?
Yes.
Okay, it's recording. So Sharlena, oh, she can't hear me maybe. Can you hear me now, Sharlena? I've been watching this Australian TV show. So when I say I want tea, and I don't say I want tea, I say I fancy a cuppa.
Nice.
You don't even have to say tea over there. This is us at graduation.
Yeah, I remember that. You two slammed into each other.
Yeah, everybody was doing that, you know.
Yep.
Gonna be by you.
We'll go with pictures.
Trying to.
Angela looks so young there. I guess I've seen her online more recently because she shouldn't look that young to me.
Yeah. But you're not sharing your screen, so nobody's seeing that. Oh, you are.
I see it. Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, it's shared.
Can you turn the volume up? Okay. Okay. Oh. I think you're in the next shot, Sharlena.
I'm there with baby Mary.
So there's
Oh,
another one. There's another one. You're in two then.
I saw the previous one. Yeah.
Okay. That's our 30-year reunion. That's Eddie as the Blues Brothers with his cousin Troy. We've been trying to reach for this, but I'm not having luck with his family at all.
Hey, this is Jeff Berto. Are you guys, can you hear me?
Hey, Jeff, I can hear you. Thanks for
All
coming,
right.
man.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here. I am currently driving my 36-foot motorhome down in Oregon going camping. So I'm going to put you guys back on mute or myself back on mute so I can just hear you guys, okay?
That's awesome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for doing this. I think it's great.
Drive carefully, you know.
All right, I will. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Somebody died during a memorial, so.
How can you unmute that for me or mute that for me, please?
Yep, I got you. We love Stacy. Eddie loved her. She was his good friend. Hi, Stacy.
Hi there. Hey, I'm just getting my Zoom set up. I must
Yeah.
have,
Yeah, we're out
Yeah.
early, but awesome to see you.
nice to see you too. Thank you. Good. Thanks for putting this together. This,
I thought I was going to be going to Seattle for something, but I just kept asking his brother and his nephew, and they kept saying that I was going to hear from some guys, but it was going to be his bandmates, you know, and
yeah.
I started looking into who these bandmates were, and I was like, they're not ever going to do anything.
So,
Or if they did something, it would be something you wouldn't want to attend.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm never host anything like this, so bear with me. But my wife, Relena, here. This is Stacy, Relena. We're all good
Hello,
friends
Relena. We've kind of met
in
through
Bellingham.
Tom's conversations and things like that, and perhaps briefly at a meeting in Federal Way, but how nice to see you.
I think maybe, well, anyway, I saw you last at Village Books,
Okay.
2000 and
Yeah.
a
Brief.
lot of years ago. Yeah.
Brief. Probably me and seeing Lisa at the same time or something. Yeah.
Are you in Bellingham still?
No, I'm up in Juneau, Alaska.
Wow. I've never
Yeah.
been.
Our life and work took us up here. We were living between Bellingham and Juneau all the time, so we moved up here full time in 2016.
And you're an audiologist still?
No, having both my kids, I left the profession to take care of my kids and support kind of our family lifestyle and all of that. But I've kept up my certs just in case. But I'm kind of a Jill of all trades, a number of things now. So. Thanks.
Eddie's dad used to call himself a master of all trades. Wait, jack of all trades, master of none. That was his
There we
expression.
go. Yeah. a generalist, yes.
I'm sure you have a story or two to tell later when we got it when we got people, you know. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
normal, just whatever really whatever pops in your head. I didn't write a statement or anything like that. I felt like it'd be better just say
No,
stories as they popped into my head, I guess.
yeah. So,
Hi, Evan.
Told you I was gonna be down here.
All right, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
You can pull up a chair, Evan.
This is
Yeah.
our firstborn son, Evan.
Yeah.
hello, Evan.
Hey, Blake.
Blake's going to be on it on online
Come on,
on
Blake.
his phone or his
At least I got down here
iPad.
too.
We're all still early though.
Okay.
2 o'clock to 4. That
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of wait, and see who pops up.
Nice font.
All right. I'm gonna mute you guys for a moment. I have our dog kind of wandering around and
Sure.
be right back.
almost 2. At least made it on time.
Yes.
Remember, I told you I was gonna be down here around 2. But... There's Blake.
Janae does not have cancer.
What happened?
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
I thought so. You looked so different, Angela.
I know I shaved my head.
That's it. And I think maybe the glasses.
Yes, I did not have glasses when you guys saw me. Oh, you guys look great.
Yeah, Angela, is that you?
This is our son, Evan.
Who's
Oh.
Her name's Angela.
that? Well, Angela.
She was this
Clown.
Zoe.
Different Angela.
Yeah. Yes. Oh
There
my
you are.
goodness.
There she is.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks for supplying those photos. We were really scrambling for good pictures and stuff.
Oh, I've got more in boxes. I was trying to find ones of, us from way back when, going to play pool and stuff like that, and parties at Eddie's house, but who knows? Oh, is that his surfer clown?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, what a friendly looking clown. I really like that one.
Well, it's 2
Yeah.
now. I figure we'll wait maybe 5 minutes or so while people try to figure out Zoom. You know,
Oh,
hopefully
yeah.
just a few
Yeah.
more.
A little past 2. 2:01.
That's okay.
Aw.
That's all 2 to 4.
Okay, so how many kids did you guys end up having?
3.
We
3
have 4.
kids.
Well,
Elizabeth.
we did adopt a girl.
Wonderful. So 4 kids.
Yeah.
So 3 boys and a girl?
Correct.
Oh,
That's another one. That's another one down here at the. Well, I mean, Blake. You see Blake there? That's another one of them. That's our youngest.
Oh.
Owen's not here.
Where else to go?
Owen's supposed to be on, but
Where is
Where
he?
else to go?
you can go. Maybe not.
But you can.
Hmm.
I can do that. Apparently.
Does everyone see that now? I don't know.
Larry. Hi, Larry. Steve. All right. Dean Hawker. Yay. There's Owen. Yeah, I think we just went
Okay.
seeing everybody.
Talking to you, Owen. And at least Andrew Tate didn't get on here though. Blake, close it. Is that door closed all the way? Blake, don't let the cat.
But is my screen still safe? Can you still see my screen with the slideshow?
I can.
Okay, yeah. And also, this is being recorded, I should tell people. So don't incriminate yourself. I guess if you want to incriminate Eddie, it's okay at this point. Eddie. Yep, Evan used to call him Uncle Eddie.
The guy who spent 6 months in jail.
Well, no, we're going to talk about
I'm
that.
not gonna say what he did though.
Okay.
He ever did,
I have no idea though. Well, I'm not gonna give out that information.
There you go.
Remember, Andy, people do bad stuff in jail, though.
Evan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, doing that. Hey, Sarah, come here. Come on, cat. Sarah, come on.
So it's up to you when you decide it's time to officially start.
Larry Watton.
Yeah.
Hey, nice to
Can
see
you
you,
hear me?
man. I remember you mostly from Eddie. You were he admired your wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. In high school, I didn't really hang out with Ed that much. It was after high school that I started hanging out with him when he was living in the U District. And then
Yeah.
when he was living down in Pasadena, I went down there and I did a road trip with him over to Austin, Texas, and saw Andrew Anderson and
Cool.
drove
Trying to
back
get
to
hold of
the
Andrew. Couldn't find him. Yeah, I remember seeing you at Eddie's house in the U District once. I think I remember you talking about working in Alaska. Were you a fisherman?
Yeah, I worked as a commercial fisherman for 16 years. Got too old to do that, so I started working as a merchant mariner. And as a matter of fact, I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean right now,
Oh, wow.
halfway between Honolulu and Guam, uh, talking over Starlink.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Yeah. We got people from all over. Stacy's in Juneau, Alaska. We're in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I thought there was going to be a live, face-to-face celebration of life in Seattle, but it just I got impatient, I guess, with the guys that were talking about putting it together. So I asked if I could do one, and his brother and nephew said to go for it. I hope they're here later. I'm not sure if they will be. We may as well go and get started on the stories and stuff. Really, I don't have a real structure besides this slideshow, which my wife Orlando made. I've got all kinds of stories about Eddie. I know you all do too. You all remember, most of you were in high school with us. So do you remember do you remember the election when he got elected vice
yeah.
president? I think he'd tell you that was one of the good times of his life, one of the best times. For those that weren't there, Eddie was the underdog, I would say, sort of a surprise candidate. I helped him. I wrote most of his speech for him, and it was really silly. He quoted like Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy and did riffs on all their most famous lines. There's Jamie, our president. But he had our friends Jeff and Jeff standing behind him playing kazoos. They were playing the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And it was really funny. And then at the end, he tore off his shirt, and I didn't even know this was coming. He had "Vote for Eddie" duct taped to his chest, and he made the muscular pose. And the auditorium,
Yeah.
his assembly, everybody went wild. And then I heard a few weeks later they had the class elections for the lower classmen, and one of our Mr. Kennedy, the teacher, complained that it was all stand-up comedy, and it was pretty much because of Eddie's influence. So that's my first one of the best Eddie stories. Real highlight. A lot of you were there. Floor is open if you want to tell Eddie stories. You look nice to see you, Jamie. Haven't seen you in a long time. Reunions, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Gosh, so many good memories of Eddie. Just he would make me laugh every day. I got to spend a lot of time with him because we had a class and both lunches together. And so just always, I loved his perspective on life. And I think I was really surprised at his depth, what a true friend he was and how much he cared. And I just really appreciated him in my life. He really buoyed me up sometimes when I was down. And so just a privilege to know him.
I can second that, Jamie. Too. I think all the strong memories are from high school, that unfortunately not really staying in contact after high school, but I don't think there'd be anybody else that I wanted to clean green paint out of the little theater carpet besides Eddie. So we had lots of hours together working on sets for the plays at TJ. And one memorable time, there's almost a gallon of green paint that got dumped on that red carpet.
Oh boy.
And Eddie and I worked really hard to get that out. Not to mention, thankfully, we still have all of our fingers and hands from using the power tools the summers had for us to build sets with and things. But he was a good kid and a good man, and he's missed.
Well, I never knew about that paint. He never,
Yeah.
I guess he's not the kind of thing he'd brag about all that work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I used to love going to the plays though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in on the election because you know, I wasn't in contact with Eddie much after high school either, but it sometimes it takes a while for you to realize how people have influenced you in your life without you knowing it at the time that it happens. And that election for me was one of those events where what we would call it today is a marketing disruptor. He was a disruptor, right? What he did is he really broke the mold of what everybody else was doing. And he totally made that exciting and memorable and kind of jaw-dropping. You're like, holy cows, he's really taking his shirt off. And then you see the vote for Ed, and you're just like, that guy's just crazy, right? At the time. And then you realize those are the type of people you need in the world that are going to break the mold of just the standard kind of boring template that we all got used to for those elections. Like when you knew the elections were coming, you're like, oh boy, I can't wait to sit and listen to these very formal speeches that you know everybody's going to do. And then he breaks out with that, and you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of how you get an excitement and something different going on. And that was one of those things that really never left my mind. Um, ever. It was just really one of those impactful things that you don't realize at the time is going to stick with you. So, he had the spine to do it. Maybe a little bit of boldness mixed with a little bit of crazy is the way I would describe it.
I would say fearless. He's just fearless. Going through clown school with him and stuff, we had a certain, Relena, you remember, we had a certain formula for what kind of clown we could be and what we could do at birthday parties and stuff like that. And what does Eddie do? He goes and sees somebody doing fire eating, and he's like, I'm going to be a fire eating clown. It's not part of the mold at all for a birthday party clown. This is not okay. And not only that, we wore grease paint, oil-based grease paint. And he did it. He did it. He would have somebody, usually me or someone else, with a wet towel just in case he set his face on fire. But otherwise, he did it. He pulled it off, and he was brilliant at it. It just fearless. I remember the picture that I sent you was the day we went skydiving, and we're in the clown office, and we are burnt out. We have not had a day off in 3 months. We're tired. We're grumpy. We are grumpy clowns. And we do not want to pick up the phone one more time. You know that end of August feeling, Relena, when you're just like, if I have to make one more balloon animal,
Yeah, where you get blisters on your fingers from tying the balloon animals.
Yes. And nobody wants to see a crying clown. Yeah. And he just went, fuck it, guys. Fuck it. Let's go skydiving. And we did. We had no plans whatsoever. We turned off all the phones to go to voicemail. We didn't even tell our boss, Bob. I don't know if he's on here or not. We didn't even tell him. We just left, drove up to Snohomish, and jumped out of airplanes. And I have never done anything like that with anybody ever again in my life. It's only Eddie that can get people to do stuff like that. And I'll never forget his, I'm sad that he is gone, but in the time that he lived here, he lived more life than 20 people combined. He lived a lot of life.
We got a picture in the chat of Eddie as a fire-breathing clown. Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I had sent that to Relena. Sorry about that.
Oh, is it also in the?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it when I saw it.
We're all fine. I did want to mention when he was working in the clown office. So Eddie would be there and he'd have his shirt off and he'd just be wearing his boxer shorts. And I'd never seen anybody in a workplace do something like that. And yeah, we were clowns, but even for clowns, that was out there.
I mean, he was kind of in a receptionist capacity there, right?
He was off, he'd show up, Oh, and he always hid Burger King Whoppers in his desk because you could get them for like 2 for $5. So he'd get like $10 worth and just hide them in his desk and eat them over the week. Yes, stomach of
Weird.
steel. Stomach of steel. Yeah.
Reminds me of in New York. Remember with was it the Thai food, the hot Thai food?
Oh, he visited us in New York. Yeah, sure. Tell that story, honey.
So we went to this Thai restaurant, and you know how they're always like, well, how many stars do you want? And he's like, I want it to be so hot that fire is bursting out of my mouth. And they're like kind of chattering to each other, like, no, he doesn't really mean it. And he's like, no, I eat fire, and I can do this. And so they bring him out something really spicy. He eats it, and they are so amazed that he's eaten it that they bring us all free ice cream.
There were like a bunch of people watching him from the kitchen while we ate.
Yeah, they're all like,
Could he could. Oh my god, that he'd get pad thai like at the 5-star from the what was it, Mama's Thai or something like that in U District. I couldn't even eat their 2 stars, and I like spicy food. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sherlina. I'm Tom's little sister. So my frame of reference for Eddie was being the little kid with my big brother and his best friend, hanging out a lot together. And both of our families had difficulties. And I remember even as a little kid, just being thankful that my big brother had this best friend who could relate to him on a different level than other people could. Just similar homes with single moms and, not much finances. And it was really neat to see their bond and the relationship that they formed over the years. And one funny memory I have is that my big brother moved out, and right about the same time, Eddie decided to move in. So he moved into Tom's room, and it was nice for me because my brother had moved out, and now I had Eddie, who kind of acted like another brother during that time. One funny story is that once I got a hold of Eddie's favorite music, and I was listening to it, and I was writing down all the words because I wanted him to think I was cool. And it was a Beastie Boys song, and there was words in there that I could not comprehend as a little kid. And I just asked Eddie when he got home from school, what do these words mean? And being kind of like a protective big brother, he's like, oh, those aren't for kids. Don't worry about that. Let's not listen to that anymore. And then he took me outside to play something instead because I just wanted attention from him. But it was pretty cute that he was protective like that.
Nice.
I could always tell that Eddie had some sadness, but he really learned how to turn that around and show humor from it instead. And I loved seeing him become a clown, and to show happiness, even though I know he had some internal struggles. We got to hire him as a clown for my sister's little girl's first party. Maybe you want to tell that story, Melissa.
how do you do it on?
Sure. Yeah, there's some pictures in the slideshow, but he was the clown entertainment for our daughter's first birthday party, and he made it a really special day for her and great memories for all of us. And yeah,
It was
really
very
appreciated
fun.
that. Yeah.
Gotta go.
Then start the slideshow again.
Sorry, we're trying to work this out.
We just got the slideshow started again.
So Susan, Pookie the clown, she's living in Spain now, so she couldn't attend today because it's about 3 a.m. her time. But she did want me to mention the story of him shaving his eyebrows for circus school.
Huh.
And he did that because he thought his makeup would go on better. But it's interesting. She said the lesson that you learn of facial expressions and the role that eyebrows play. And he definitely would get a lot of weird looks on the bus, but he loved it. He'd take his unicycle with his shaved head and his shaved eyebrows, so he looked like some sort of albino giant.
Yeah.
And he'd ride his unicycle and then get on the bus. And he said if anybody tried to sit with him, he'd just pretend to drool, and nobody would sit with him. He loved it.
I might have to take some credit for that. During a pretty dark time, Eddie and I watched Pink Floyd The Wall about 20 times, and we both shaved our eyebrows. So,
What?
can you tell me about how we met?
Oh, so I was in not Ringling Brothers Clown School, but just for the company we worked for, Clowns Unlimited. I was in clown school with Eddie. And I actually met my husband, Tom, because Eddie introduced us at a party we went to that was sort of a high school reunion party that was a Valentine's Day party.
Lori and Beth's apartment.
And but Eddie being Eddie, when he decided to try to fix us up, he couldn't just do it in a conventional way. He decided we had to all go over to his place and watch Basic Instinct together because that would get us in the mood, apparently.
But there's more to it. I mean, he knew I was also kind of, well, pretty shy then. And so what he did was he told me to buy some concert tickets that everybody in the whole party knew I was going to ask her out. It was just a formality. She knew, everybody knew. So I did. I bought the tickets. I talked to her the whole evening. We were both very embarrassed during a certain scene in Basic Instinct, so we didn't look. But then I walked her to her car afterwards and asked her out. And then it turned out she did not know that was coming. But if I knew she didn't know, then maybe I would have dropped the ball, I think was Eddie's point. And that's probably about right.
So we have Eddie to thank for you finding Relena and your whole family there starting. I love that.
Very much. I mean, at that party when we first met, I was kind of the third wheel. It was a Valentine's Day weekend party. And to make her more comfortable, he invited a third party, me, so that she wouldn't feel like he was pressuring her for it to be a date.
It wasn't a date.
Like that. And anyway, he talked to, it was a lot of high school people. So he went and talked to everybody. And I didn't have that much to say to people. So I just talked to her in a low key way because I thought she was his date.
Is it just me, or did Eddie pretty much ask out every girl in our clown school? And we became Tracy became his girlfriend, you became his friend, I became like his little sister. It's like we all just fit into this circle around Eddie in some way. He was magnetic. He was just magnetic. Yeah.
Story.
Well, I can't really think that.
My boys called Eddie Uncle Eddie. Does any of them want to say something?
Yeah, sure. I have I guess I have maybe one good memory of, knowing him because I was so young when we met. But yeah, we called him Uncle Eddie. He, smoked a cigar with my dad in the library room. And then he gave me a comic book. It was like Spider-Man versus Venom. It's still in my closet. So yeah, I think that's about all I know. But
Good stuff, Owen.
yep.
I don't think it's going.
It says stop share. So
So you can go back, you can toggle back to the other thing.
okay. By doing what? Okay, we're bad at Zoom and I can't see anybody now. Hold on. There you all are.
So cute.
Yeah. We got a few pictures of Eddie as an adult and a few good ones from high school.
Yeah, he liked to play guitar.
Go ahead, Evan.
Did you know if he played any other instruments though?
My son Evan wants you to know that Eddie liked to play guitar and he also played drums.
Yeah.
Didn't he have keyboards too?
Keyboards?
I don't know. Maybe
At
so.
one point he had him in a storage unit. I remember that.
Anything else I could think of?
Yeah.
Any kind of vehicle.
The last time I talked to him, he was learning how to play the cornet, I think.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. He had a phase where he was really involved with the Salvation Army Church, and they made him a soldier, I believe they called it, and he was a cornet player for them. Who said, was that Larry?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Larry. Yeah, good call. Forgot about that for a minute. I also remember, speaking of like churches and stuff, he used to answer the phone just as a joke. He would say, Satan? And he told me this one time he did that, and it was the choir director. He was in a church choir at University Christian, I think it was. He was a little embarrassed, but I think the guy was cool with it.
What are you doing?
I'm sure you have a lot more stories, Tom.
Ah,
What else?
I guess. I just want to hear what other people remember too.
What else?
Oh, so many.
Can you start the slideshow again? I didn't get to see all the pictures.
So the slideshow's not happening right now? Okay, yeah.
Guitar. What kind of guitar is that?
Hold on. I don't know why it's not going.
Looks like
It was under.
Is it working for you or not?
Now it's moving. Yep.
I can do it manually. I'll just do that.
Well,
It's fine. It's playing.
Oh, okay.
Look at that cute picture of him as a kid.
Exit. Just
no, it's got to go like this. Okay.
I'm
I
trying to-
always thought he looked like Billy Idol for a time in his
Oh,
late
really?
20s.
We love Billy Idol. We've seen him in Nashville a couple times.
Yeah.
I think he looks
Yeah.
like him, yeah.
That's funny.
Wait a minute.
So Melissa, do you have anything you want to add? I mean, you saw him a lot too, because you were around for some of the stuff in high school. You're the one who
Yeah.
took all these pictures.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about Mary's party. That's probably my big core memory, and how kind he was and gracious with all the little kids. Yeah, that was a really special day.
Was everybody doing all right? I mean, some of the people I got messages from were shaken up just by the fact that people our age are you know, it's scary to be the same age as people that are passing.
Yeah, I think the toughest part is the unfinished business. You know,
Okay.
yeah. That'll be hard to reconcile with. Yeah.
I only got to connect with Eddie at the reunions, so it was just kind of a shock. I just thought I'd see him again next year.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
might be performing again. I don't know if he was planning to, but
Yeah, he was kind of the highlight for me of those reunions. So yeah, a shock.
Hey, Tom, you got to make the slideshow keep moving. It's stuck on one.
Elena, how do I do this? I'm
Click on the next one.
Or
Well,
just let it play. You were letting it play and then you stopped it.
Supposed to, and I don't know if we accidentally clicked it again or what we did.
give me the beginning slideshow.
Okay, now it's going. I think we
Yeah,
accidentally
no. There you go.
clicked it, and that was the problem.
Okay, seriously, when did we all get so old?
Well, y'all looked really good though. Except people I can't see.
Oh, you guys look great too. Relena, you look like you haven't changed at all.
Damn, it's not scrolling.
Oh, geez.
We don't know what we're doing with this slideshow. We're just supposed to keep this screen closed and just keep it moving.
Okay,
It was
maybe
moving.
maybe that's the problem there.
You just want to hit escape.
I'm still trying to get this thing to work. Sorry.
Now it'll do. Now it'll work.
Why are you clicking it though? Then it pauses it when you do that.
I'm going to just do it manually. Can you all see it now? Like can you see that it's on clowns now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and now it's moving by itself. Okay. I can't believe you went skydiving. I don't remember being told this story.
Eddie.
Yeah, he was really hooked on it for a while. He was trying to get like certified and stuff like that. He
I'm not
loved it.
surprised. Yeah, that sounds like something he would do. I just I missed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was really proud of him when he got into Ringling Brothers. He said that application numbers wise, it was more selective than Harvard.
It was very difficult. Yeah, and he had that accident in his scooter.
Yeah.
And so he had a lot of scars on his legs, and you had to take a picture of yourself in a bathing suit for the application.
Did you put makeup on his leg? I remember somebody did.
I did. We just took makeup and tried to do stuff with lighting, and yeah, it was really cool. I think what's interesting about a guy like Eddie is I would imagine that even in the short moments that people would know him, they had some life-altering experience because of him. And yeah, he wasn't always in people's lives for very long, but man, somebody said on here that he was like a disruptor. he was like that in people's lives in a good way. He'd just come in, shake it all up, show you a different perspective, and you're forever changed.
Yeah. So we're seeing a picture here of Hot Rod and the Ballers, you know. I wish Robert the drummer had came because he tells the same story every time Eddie's name came up, which was basically he was a pretty new drummer and had only practiced with me, and he wasn't like really keeping time. He was just kind of flailing around on the drums, and I didn't call on him because I didn't bring it up, shyness or whatever. But Eddie just tore him a new one. He just really tried. He really explained to him the drummer's role, and Robert was very grateful about it. Maybe not in the moment, you know, but he just really felt like said what his drum instructor had been trying to tell him, and he had kind of clicked when Eddie chewed him out, and we got to work on Wild Thing, you know, got it down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Totally.
You know, I have a memory that Dad, you told me about the election. You said that you knew that they were making tennis courts.
That's right.
Just before other people because you're on the team, right? And then Eddie, in his speech, because he knew that there'd be tennis courts, promised new tennis courts.
Yep, that did happen. And then unfortunately they delayed putting in the tennis courts for a year, so it kind of made him look less awesome.
Oh,
Was that when we got those awesome blacktop tennis courts?
It was the next thing. He promised that the blacktop would be gone and we'd get the real stuff, but we did, just not quite the year that he said they were going to.
Yeah.
DJ was always at the cutting edge.
Yeah.
I remember when he was trying to learn his unicycle because he wanted to be a more awesome clown, and like it did not occur to any of the rest of us to actually try to learn a unicycle.
And juggle, right?
I think so. I think so. But it was like he was always like, what's the next thing I can do that would be more awesome in terms of being a clown? And you can see like the big difference in the clown makeup that he had after going through clown college than he did just when working for Clowns Unlimited. I mean, he really stepped it up a lot.
Yeah.
What he looked like and what he was doing. He took it very seriously. For me, it was just like something I did for a little while and I enjoyed, but it wasn't like a lifelong identity.
There's our 30-year reunion on the slideshow. He's the one in front as one of the Blues Brothers. I stayed at his place that night. He found out I hadn't seen the Blues Brothers movie, so we watched the movie that night.
Tom, because I only got to check in with him every so often, could you do a little recap of Eddie's life after high school?
So in his 20s, he was really well, he had a regular poker game every Tuesday night in his apartment in the U District, which was right next door to Roosevelt High School. So that was a really good time for him. He was working at Dick's Drive-In at the time. And then, of course, he got into Clowns Unlimited, which is where we met Angela and my wife, Elena. And from there, he like they were saying, he took clowning the most seriously, sort of ironically, of all of them. Got into Ringling Brothers, became a street performer in Altadena, California. And as we mentioned in the slideshow, one thing he did there was, while in character, while dressed up as a clown, he made friends with Gary Coleman, who was a security guard at the time. So he told me that one time he was standing there with Gary Coleman just shooting the breeze, and some people came by and tried to get Gary Coleman to say, "What you talking about, Willis?" And Eddie, well, Gary Coleman with a straight face said, "I'm not allowed to do that by contract. You know, I get sued if I even use that phrase." And the guys walked away, and Eddie knew that Gary Coleman was lying, and he and Gary Coleman shared this big laugh about that. I don't know, that always stands out because one time I had dinner with Frank Dukes, you know, the guy that Bloodsport was about. It didn't mean that much to me. I'm not really all into martial arts, so I knew I was a friend of somebody there. And Eddie would say multiple times, he said, "Tom, the coolest thing about you is that you met and had dinner with Frank Dukes." So I guess Gary Coleman would be his version of that. So that was a real high time for him, I think, late 20s, where he was a professional Ringling Brothers trained clown. After that, you know, I would see him less frequently, you know, but he did visit us both in New York City and a couple times here in Kentucky, where he is my kid's honorary Uncle Eddie. he had a lot of struggles late in life, so I'm struggling to say anything, any of the things that would be on a resume. What kind of,
I feel like we can share other stuff, Tom. I mean,
okay,
Yeah.
so he got really into drinking, and alcohol was something that he relied on every day, and he didn't really have an interest in stopping doing that. And I think it got in the way of a lot of the talent and joy he had in life, but he didn't see another way to be doing life. And there were a lot of hard times that came from that.
he also went to a lot of therapy and he was trying to deal with some childhood abuse, and just never really got there. I guess in the last couple of years of his life. I mean, I couldn't really talk to him the last couple of years, and his brother said that he was in with a really bad crowd, not just alcohol. He did have some heart issues, and we don't know for sure what the coroner doesn't know for sure cause of death, but his nephew said that his heart issues came back during the last 6 months or so, and so that's all we really know about that part.
But yeah, he had a lot of struggles, and it was hard to keep in touch with him because sometimes he was homeless and between places, and you didn't know how to get a hold of him. And we really hurt seeing that because, of course, we've known him for so long that to see sort of this downward decline was really sad, because he could be just an amazing person. But, people are not so amazing when they're intoxicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember thinking he had a lot of promise as an actor. I mean, I'm not, maybe Stacy could talk about that more than I can. I'm not the best judge of actors, but he had these great blue eyes, and do remember he was in some community theater after graduation, so he stayed with it for a while. He was he didn't play Peter Pan, but he was in Peter Pan. So yeah, acting, clowning, uh, and just loved having fun, like hosting poker night. Those are the kind of things that I remember most happily.
Oh, you need to tell him about when he came out here and he talked to your students about grunge and the whole history of it.
That was really something, I'm an English professor, and we had creative writing, and we were at a coffee shop with some of my students when Eddie was visiting, and he mentioned they brought up, Seattle rock, and Eddie started talking about all the connections between all these bands, how members of Green River and Malfunction came together to form, who knows? They were taking notes. They got out some of these, college kids in Kentucky got out their notepads to take notes on Eddie's little lecture, and I just thought it was fun because, I mean, they never listened to me.
I think he really struggled with after going to the Ringling Brothers School and not getting into the circus, but just the school itself and how rigorous it was, and you have to pretty much be an athlete and very disciplined and everything else, and that kind of stuff didn't fit his personality. Even if he had the talent, it didn't fit his personality, and I think it really broke his heart. And then he came back from that and got out of a crappy relationship, and that broke his heart, and I just never really saw the same guy again. That was kind of, but I think of Eddie, when you say he could have been a great actor, absolutely. I knowing a lot of comedians now in my life, he is one of the brilliant ones. But a lot of the real brilliant comedians and clowns have this darker side to them and this complicated side to them. And I wish that he had what he needed to focus more on the joyful side of him, because he had a lot of it. But, clowns date back to tribal times, even in the Egyptian times, and they were sacred in tribal societies, and they were the bringers of light. And during the dark time, they were the keepers of joy that they could bring to the tribe when it was needed. And that was definitely Eddie through and through. But I think that kind of, I don't know, gift comes with its curses too. And unfortunately, I think the curses got to him. But I also like to remember all the light that he brought to so many people.
I'm sure nobody here that was in high school with us was surprised that Eddie became a clown. I mean, he was very much a class clown, right?
Yeah.
He always wanted to make other people laugh and have fun. He worked for the Mariners. I forgot to talk about that. Late in life, he worked concession. Not, I think he worked in a concession stand for the Mariners for several years and enjoyed that. Not the guy running around selling, throwing peanuts at you, but the guy, back behind the counter.
Oh, he would have loved throwing peanuts at people. He would have loved that too.
And maybe he did some of that. I'm not sure, but he never talked about that part of it to me.
I'm really digging the clown pictures of his surfer clown. Really. Wow.
Cool.
Thank you so much for those, Melissa.
You're welcome.
But yeah, he definitely had a tough childhood, and it wasn't stuff that he talked about. And I think that's a tough thing when you don't cope with those kind of issues and they're just sort of there. I think there's a kind of poison in you. And
Everybody still with us?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Later.
Well, thank you for putting this together. This was really, really sweet of you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Still trying to figure out Zoom here. There you are.
you want to share. I think we've seen the pictures enough.
Okay. Yeah, I will stop the pictures. I think just about everybody's spoken. Are there some people that still would like to share something about Eddie or really anything?
No.
Steve?
Sorry, I just remember the one time or one of the times he came over here. We were all in like Owen and I were still in elementary school, and a bunch of our, like 7, 8, 9-year-old friends came over, and they just thought Eddie was really cool. I remember that. I remember Jackson thought he was really cool.
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, I thought so too. I was, yeah, he was my cool friend for sure.
And he'd have this booming voice, and he'd just be very enthusiastic about whatever he was doing. And it was like, I remember just he would play games with the kids. Like he was a big kid too. And I think that's part of what you responded to is he was just had that joy of playing with them that a lot of adults kind of lose because you're like, okay, I've got to be an adult and be responsible and mature. And he would just be like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this moment right in front of me.
I love that he could be also very deep. And just, I remember at the last reunion, just he gave me the biggest hug, and I was just, I'll treasure that. Yeah, and because we talked a lot. I knew a bit about his home life, and just really appreciated Eddie's ability to appreciate everyone. He was a friend to everyone.
I do remember he used to talk about how he wouldn't wear any t-shirts with logos on them because he didn't want to be giving money to, all the big corporations. And so he would just refuse to wear anything with a logo.
Anything to give it to the man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a woman he was dating that he was very much in love with, wanted to marry, Hasela. She was an attorney. She was from Mexico, but I think once she figured out how bad his drinking was, she was gone because that wasn't going to work. And I know that he grieved that because I think he saw it as a kind of way to turn his life around a little bit and have a fresh start. And so he was really sad about that, I remember. Own worst enemy there.
Yep.
Steve, good to see you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I've been sort of off video and stuff. I'm actually driving today, so
careful.
Found a place where I could safely pull over. So,
good.
but I've enjoyed listening to stuff. I remember the election thing, but I don't have a particularly like crystal memory of Eddie. I just remember Eddie was always there to sort of cheer you up, and you know, if having a hard day or something, he'd find some piece of something funny or good in just about anything. And you know, he just was very good at brightening other people's lives, including mine. So,
Yeah.
I didn't keep in touch with him after high school, but he will be missed. So,
And Kristen, did you want to say something? I see you there on your iPhone. Okay. I think everybody's had a chance to speak. Yeah.
Sorry, I was
There was
having a hard time unmute. David and I are here. Yes.
David, cool.
Hey, everybody.
Good.
I'll just say, because I knew Eddie pretty well in high school, I always felt that his anxiety led him to great things, right? He used it a bit as a mask, probably contributed a little bit to his drinking as well, a way to cover for his insecurities. But I loved Eddie. I thought he was a fabulous man. And I think his vulnerability was one of his greatest points, because it brought him to things that he wouldn't naturally do. And I thought that he was one of the sweetest men I knew. And I was at a time where being sweet wasn't a manly thing to do, if that makes sense. But he was a sweet, sweet man. And he connected with me at the 30-year reunion and said some of the things to me that I'll remember for the rest of my life. So I just appreciate Eddie. It makes me sad that he's gone. He's a one of a kind.
You guys in choir together then, David?
We were, yeah. We were in choir together. We were in drama together. We were, basically anything that showed some expressive nature, he was all a part of. And I just appreciated how vulnerable he was. He was allowing himself to be, something that people could look at as a weakness, he would look at as a strength. And if he felt that he could make someone laugh, it was worth him somewhat being ridiculed, right? And it's just such a strength of character in my mind to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. Just a wonderful human being.
Thanks so much, David.
It's good to see all you guys, by the way. It's been a long, long time, but
David,
it's great to hear voices.
You had the best bass singing voice ever. The Papa, Papa, that was fantastic.
Guys got to have a legacy.
Larry, were you going to say something, or Jeff? I heard a voice a minute ago.
Yeah, as far as how he hated selling out to the man or whatever.
Yeah.
He hated what he called corporate global blood-sucking monsters. When he was living down in Pasadena, he worked out a deal with a Verizon store down there where he would work for them out front, where he would rope people in his clown getup, and he was actually he was torn about that. He was conflicted because he needed the money, but he was conflicted about working for Verizon. But they gave him I think a sash that said Verizon on it and a big prop cell phone. He'd stand out in front of there, and he was telling me that there was some old lady that, was giving him a hard time about it. And she was like, I hate how they push cell phones on everybody. Not everybody needs a cell phone. And he was trying to be upbeat about it. Yeah, but he said, Larry, she finally wore me down. And I was like, you're right. We don't all need cell phones. She just got to me. And then she was like, oh no, you're okay. You're just doing your job or whatever.
And honestly, everybody needs cell phones now. I mean, they were just ahead of the curve there.
Yeah. At the time, Eddie hated cell phones. He didn't even have a cell phone himself, but
yeah, that's right. I was that way for a long time too. It's one of many things we had in common.
Which kind of made it hard to get a hold of him. Every time I wanted to get a hold of him, I had to call Paul to find out what his new phone number was. But then I lost contact with Paul. So it's like I haven't seen Eddie for like 15.
Yeah.
And that makes us sad because we kind of lost contact with Eddie too at the near the end because he just was where he was very sporadic, and occasionally you could reach him through somebody, but then that situation wouldn't work out and he'd be elsewhere.
The last time I spoke to him, though, he was really quite lucid and, seemed clear-headed and in somewhat good spirits. We had a nice conversation, which kind of surprised me because, other times it was just in recent years, it's been hard to talk to him. Yeah, he really wasn't very happy. I mean, when his brother messaged me and said it to call him, and when I called, the first thing I said was, "Did Eddie die?" Because I mean, uh, because he'd had some really hard years. And the second thing I said was he's in a better place because I knew I'm from talking to Eddie, he was not, uh, he wasn't enjoying life there at the end for quite a while, actually.
One of the hardest things we had to do is he talked about, well, maybe I'll come out and live in Kentucky and, stay with you for a while. And I just couldn't do it. I didn't feel like it would be a sustainable, safe thing to do because we had, as much as our kids loved him, he was, in a downward spiral. And I thought it was going to be really potentially damaging to them to be in front of it, being older and more aware of that kind of stuff. And also, it would be like, we can't take care of you because you're going to do stuff that we can't have in our house. And we had to tell him no. And he was really hurt. And I didn't want to hurt him that way, but I couldn't do it at the same time. And so he didn't want to talk to me for a while. But I do think things got kind of worked out where he was better about stuff he kind of understood later. But that was difficult because we knew we were the source of support for him, but we couldn't do what he needed at that moment.
Well, the last time I talked to him, he sounded so good. I did invite him to come out and visit, and I was surprised to hear myself say that because other conversations in the last couple of years before that had gone badly. He seemed surprised by it too. He said, "Okay," and we didn't really get down to actually planning it. But anyway, I'm happy that the last time I spoke to him, at least he seemed to be doing pretty well and was relatively happy.
Does anybody
I do
know
see.
when his anti-logo campaign started? Was that in high school?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because if it's not, then I know somebody else that had the same attitude, and I could not believe
It,
there'd be two people with the same view.
Dean, you're exactly right. It was in high school. I recall it vividly, no
Oh,
doubt.
okay.
Yep.
Because when you brought that up, I thought, "Holy cow, there's two people," and then I started thinking maybe there's just one, and maybe
Yeah.
maybe Eddie was that guy.
Yeah, for sure it was. And I remember it was almost an obsession, right? Where he's like, I am not doing it. Nope, not going to be a sellout.
That's right. Well, we all remember Izod and all of those brands back then. We were clamoring to get our hands on, but not Eddie.
Nope, agreed.
Too funny.
Yeah, one of the things that actually meant the most to me was at the reunion. I think this is just a sign of his character. He took me to the side at the very end of the reunion, and he said, "I just wanted to thank you for being nice to me." And I thought that meant a lot. Number one is it meant a lot to me personally, but it shocked me that, I mean, everybody I thought was nice to Eddie. Everybody liked Eddie, right? Why would you not be nice to Eddie? He's one of the most genuine, lovely people that I knew. And for him to thank you for being nice to him, I'm like, it just meant a lot that he probably had a lot of people that weren't nice to him. And that kind of made me sad that he had to go through those things and that it resonated so much in that way. So anyway, it kind of broke my heart at the same time, right? Just how he must have felt with other people from time to time.
Yeah, I can relate to that just a little bit, Dave, and here's why, because I moved to the Kent Federal Way area in between elementary and junior high, and I remember seeing Eddie in junior high at Totem,
Yeah.
and I didn't really have any friends at the time because I moved during the summer, and I was, my first year there was just cautiously navigating, trying not to get, beat up. And and so I was really paying attention to the people around me. And unfortunately, I remember Eddie being picked on more than once. And I think it's probably just because his character was threatening to other people that didn't have their own confidence, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't accept somebody with such bold character and literally clowning around, right? That's who he ended up
Yeah.
being. And so um I remember watching Eddie from afar, just trying to figure out, why was he getting picked on where maybe other people weren't. And so, I saw that early on in the sense that his character unjustly drew attention from people that just weren't very nice. And we all know in junior high and high school, you can end up being a target sometimes when you really shouldn't be, just for being who you are. And that was one of the unfortunate things I remember. Um, he did end up finding himself in situations. So Dave, when you say that, I can understand why he would say that to you, because I remember witnessing some things that, you know, stuck with me as well in the negative realm.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in middle school and high school, just vulnerability, the willingness to be yourself and to express yourself can be such a trigger for some people that, they want to vilify you for it almost, right? And if you're not cool, then you're nothing.
Right.
And it's very interesting because he showed that strength that I talked about earlier. He was strong enough to be vulnerable, and he was willing to be the butt of the joke, so to speak. It's what made him such an individual, such somebody that we'll all remember for our entire, right. It's been 30 years, and we all still remember
Yeah.
Eddie Wiediger.
We were not wise enough during those years to realize that Eddie was the spice grape to your vineyard. Those are the characters that you need in your life, and you don't realize it until it's
Yeah.
it's in your wake. So
He was never vanilla.
he was never vanilla. He was never vanilla.
So Eddie was a junior. I'm
Forgetting.
not sure how many people know that he was Eddie Otto Jr. And his father was kind of a father figure for me. And I do remember many times his father said, quote, "It's too damn bad people have to grow up and give up their individuality." So I think he got that from his dad. His dad really encouraged us to be ourselves.
Wow.
Of course, he also said this to me. He said, he gave me a lot of advice. Usually he was drinking beer, and he said, "Tom, when you finally meet that sweet young lady and you decide it's time to settle down, don't." Right after his divorce. But I mean, I didn't take that advice, so obviously.
Yeah, don't listen to that guy.
Joni is here.
That's
Hi, Joe.
Hi,
Hey,
sister.
Great to see you.
Nice to see you guys too. Hey, I have to drive. I'm on my way to a birthday party. Do
Great.
you want me to just turn my face off or just listen in?
We're pretty close to being finished. Everybody's had a chance to speak. So if you're not going to wreck, I mean, you could say something, tell you have a story.
I love that guy. He was awesome. He was older, but he didn't treat us like we were crap because we were younger.
Yeah, cool.
Super sweet.
I remember we went to your house for a board game night a year after we graduated. You were still in high school, I guess.
I don't know why I can't see who's talking.
Oh, that was Tom talking.
I see a lot of faces I recognize though. Hi.
Well, hey, a lot of you guys can talk about stories, but none of you can say what my sister Joni and I can say, which is that our parents bought his parents' house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he talked about that too.
And I do, by the way, remember him tossing peanuts at a Mariners game.
Okay, good to know. I never got to see him in action.
I don't think he did it all the time, but it certainly was a highlight being at a Mariners game and seeing our old buddy Eddie.
Yeah.
So.
I just wanted to send some love, you guys. I'm gonna pop off. I don't want to crash while driving.
Oh, good, Joni. Great to see you.
Bye.
Don't
you
cry.
guys.
Bye.
I guess I'm going to call the meeting.
Okay. You.
Thank you for doing this.
Thanks for being
Bye.
here.
Thank you, Tom.
Any final thoughts before we call it? I think, I mean, I really appreciate y'all helping me process this, and it is really great to see y'all.
Thank you, Tom. Just
Thank you.
love you guys.
Thank you. This
Yeah,
was
thank you, Tom.
wonderful.
Good
you
seeing
guys.
people.
Thank
Be
you.
safe, everyone.
If
Lots of
Take care.
love.
If somebody wants a slideshow, I think we can send it to you. So let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Or
Okay.
maybe put it out on our
Yeah.
TJ page.
I'll try to do that. I'm
Yeah.
not great at
Great idea.
computers. Even running a Zoom was a challenge, but I'm going to try that next. Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Take care, you guys.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.